Hey there and welcome to my opinion on. So in this week's episode we are going to talk about the recent gun discussions. So all that's been happening about gun control, about the mass shootings that happened, and I think the American government wants to change the gun laws. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. And I had a couple of discussions over on Twitter, mainly with people from the US that, don't really like it if you argue against guns. So I just thought I would, answer their points that they made towards me because of the things I said because of guns. So first of all, I will address the guys that are against guns. They want more gun control because it will result in less violent shootings. And I think there is a little bit of point to that, but basically there is not. The thing is, if you have the most strict gun laws in the world, this will not stop people from getting guns and shooting other people. It's just not how that works. But the thing is, it's a good point to start. You have to change how people think, how they act with guns, and how they think about guns and how they think about violence. If we can change that, there is no need for gun control. But I think it's a good way to start things off, because the Americans, for example, they have kind of a weird relationship with their guns. I have no idea why, but they just have this very weird relationship, and I think they have a weird relationship with violence too. So in order to change that, this mindset of being very violent and to be very fond of guns, you just have to use a little bit of gun control to get things started, to get people to start think differently. And the other side of these discussions are, of course, the people that really don't want gun control, that don't want gun laws. They just, they want to have their guns. And they're basically saying three things. They need guns because of the Second Amendment. They have the right to carry guns. They need guns because they're only tools. And they need guns for protection. So I'm going to address all those three things. Let's start off with the Second Amendment. I've read the Second Amendment in the American Constitution, and it basically gives you the right to carry an arm, or arms. I think the plural there is very important for Americans, at least. So yeah, you have the right to carry arms. But the thing is, if you translate this word, I had to translate the word because I wanted to make sure I get it right. But if you really, look at the meaning of the word, it just means any kind of weapon. So a bow is a kind of arm, a gun is a kind of arm, a grenade is a kind of arm, a rocket launcher, a tank, a helicopter, a nuclear bomb. These are all kinds of arms. So, using this Second Amendment just to justify your need for a gun, basically, is kind of pointless because if you say you have the right to carry a gun because the Second Amendment says so, why don't I have the right to carry a nuclear weapon? Or why don't I have the right to have a Harrier jet parked in my front yard? Why don't I have the right to drive to work every day with a tank? That's just, yeah. I don't think anyone would say, okay, I really want a tank, or people should be allowed to have tanks or jets or helicopters or nuclear weapons. So why do you think that you can justify your need for a gun with a right that should basically cover everything, but only covers, guns, basically? So, I don't think so. And I certainly don't think so that the people that made this constitution, that they actually thought of full automatic weapons, because they didn't have those weapons 200 years ago. They had these one-shot weapons, basically, and that was the weapons that they meant, probably. They didn't think of an M16 or a grenade launcher or anything like that, I don't know, or shotguns. They didn't think of those weapons. So I don't think they meant those weapons with that amendment. And if they had to do this amendment today, I don't think it would say arms. It would say every citizen should have the right to carry a pistol, or I don't know, maybe a shotgun, but it would definitely specify what kind of weapon. It wouldn't just say arms. So I just don't think you should rely on a 200-year-old law. That's just, yeah. Okay, the second thing, guns are only tools. That is basically right if you use them for, I don't know, for hunting, for example. If you go out there and shoot a deer or something like that, it's, then a weapon is actually, or a pistol or a gun is actually a tool. But, they are tools meant to kill. You created guns only to kill. That's their only purpose in the universe. You don't use guns for, I don't know, cutting onions. You don't do that. Or to switch off the light. Homer Simpson does that. But, you know, they are not really tools in a sense that we can all agree on. A knife, for example. You can use a knife to kill, but knives were created to cut meat and to cut onions and, I don't know, just to prepare dinner, for example. They are meant for a certain kind of purpose. A scissor, for example, is a weapon too, not a gun, sorry. A scissor is a weapon too. And it was meant to cut things, it wasn't meant to kill someone with it. And it goes for almost every kind of tool there is out there. A chainsaw, for example, is great to kill people, but I don't think the guy that invented the chainsaw thought, okay, I have to find a way to cut down trees in a very easy way without creating something that could kill people. So no, he just created this thing to cut down trees very easily and very fast, and for some reason it's kind of easy to kill someone with a chainsaw too. So that's a tool. You know, tools are created for a certain kind of purpose, and a gun is only, you know, created for the purpose to kill. So guns are not really tools in a way that, you know, as I said, that we could all agree on, or that have another purpose than just, I don't know, they're just killing, and that's the thing. Of course you can use them for target practice, but why would you use target practice if you don't plan to kill someone with it, basically? So yeah, and the last point is protection. You know, there are certain ways of protection, or certain kinds of protection. First of all, there's the personal protection. So if you are at home and there's a burglar or something like that breaking into your house, and you have to protect yourself and your family from that guy. And you know, I get that. I can understand that. This is some kind of protection that I get. And I think having a gun at home to protect your home is kind of okay. But I just don't get why you need 10 guns at home, 10 different kinds of guns. You know, you need a pistol, you need a revolver, you need another pistol, you need a shotgun, you need a assault rifle, you need a hunting rifle, you need, I don't know, you need landmines or whatever. And I just don't get that. You know, if you only want to protect your home, you just need one pistol. And you don't need an assault rifle, for example, a fully automatic assault rifle. Why the hell do you need that in your own home? That's totally pointless. I just don't think there will ever be a situation where you will have to defend your home against a horde of enemies, so only a fully automated assault rifle will protect you. So for homeowners or for people, you know, that want to protect their home, I think pistols should be the way to go, and that's the only thing they would need. So that's the only kind of weapon usage I can justify for protection. So the second kind of protection would be the protection against other countries. And you know, we have the army for that. You don't need to, you know, have a gun at home if there is an invader or something like that. Because if your military falls, if the American military falls to an enemy invader force, you know, let's say just China. China invades the US, and if they do that and the military has no chance, there is no way in hell that the people in America with their little tiny guns and without the expertise how to use these guns properly against super special trained soldiers that were, you know, created to invade the US, I just don't think they have the slightest kind of chance against them. So weapons for protection against invaders, not really, you know, that doesn't really make a sense. And of course there could be protection against people from other planets, you know, aliens. So if they ever invade the Earth, I don't think we have any chance at all. If there is an alien force coming to Earth and they want to destroy us, they will just destroy us. We won't have any kind of weapon or protection that will help anything against those people. There won't be anything we can do. So yeah. And the last thing is protection against the government. I heard this a lot and I just don't get it. Because the point is, if the government really wants to oppress its people, it has to use the military. That's the only way you can oppress a certain amount of people. You can oppress all your people. And the guy on Twitter actually told me that the military wouldn't do that. They wouldn't oppress their own home country. So I just thought, okay, if the government doesn't have a military, how are they going to oppress people? That's not possible. You can't oppress people without using the military. The only way you could do that would to win their hearts, like Hitler did, for example. He won the hearts of all Germans, and that's why everyone followed him and why they went to the Second World War. That's a way to go, but you know, they didn't need guns because there was nothing to protect anymore. Their hearts were already won by Hitler, so yeah, that was it. No chance to win there. So if a government really wants to oppress people, it will just use gun violence. It will just use force, blunt force, the military. And if the US military decides to oppress the American people, there is nothing they can do. You know, you can have 100 guns at your home. You can't defend yourself against jets, helicopters, tanks, nuclear weapons or whatever. Or against two well-trained soldiers. Two well-trained soldiers could probably bring down a whole block of people just because they are well-trained, they know what they're doing. Every single one of their shots will be secure in place and they will shoot to kill. That will be easy for them. So yeah, I don't see any need for guns protection there. So yeah, that was this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And as always, leave your own suggestion for a topic in the comment section below. And that was it. I'm iLostLink, signing out.